Hello everyone, my name is Major and welcome to my channel. So this is my first YouTube video and I hope you like it. So I decided to post my builds up after I realized that not everyone actually likes to build. Even I get lazy sometimes and I'd rather download a house than have to build one from scratch. So this is what I'm doing now. And actually sometimes when I'm looking for a house to download and use, the house that I want isn't there. Which is where I got the idea for this house. So my sim currently lives in a nice mansion, but he's taken a liking to gardening, so there isn't really that much room in the property to do that. So I looked around the Sims gallery for a mansion with a farm. Now there are a couple of beautiful farmhouses in the gallery, but nothing my sim is really used to because he's got expensive taste. So just to keep him happy, I made this house. So it's a farmhouse with a sort of old, quaint English cottage thing going on, and a mansion underneath. So actually I've made this house 3 times now. So the first time I recorded, that was really long. So the house took about 9 hours for me to make in real time. Most of those 9 hours was of me trying to match doors and windows and furniture with each other because nothing seems to match in the catalog. And I'm not all that familiar with the stuff that's in offer. So most of the footage from the first house was me just scrolling through the catalog trying to figure out what went with what, basically, and I was just trying to figure out the layout of the rooms and the placement because I haven't built this house before. And then after I finished recording, I sped it up, the video, and even after I timed the speed to 10, it was still an hour long. So it was an hour long of footage of me basically just placing an item, deleting it, then placing another item, looking through the catalog, and then deleting that, and so on. So I just scrapped it. Now the second house, I already knew what I was going to make, see, so I already made it the first time. So I thought that it was going to be quick and easy because, you know, I don't have to do all that trial and error I did for hours in the first house. So I started building and recording my second house, and then I finished it. Then I thought that all I had to do was put it all together and post it. And that's when I realized that my computer hadn't actually recorded all of my build. So apparently my computer memory was full, so it couldn't save anything new. And I think that might have to do with the fact that there was 9 hours of footage sitting there in memory, just taking up space. Anyway, you have no idea how annoyed I was. It almost made me give up on this house. So now this is the third house. They say the third time's a charm, but I don't want to jinx it. So anything could happen between me recording this commentary and me posting this up on YouTube. So fingers crossed. So you can see that I'm building the main living area now. I've just finished the living room with the library and the bar on both sides. And now I'm working on the gym and fitness room. So you'll notice that I'm using a lot of modern furniture to contrast the upstairs classic feel, but I'm sticking with browns and beige because I don't want the upstairs and the downstairs to be that different. I mean, I kind of still want them to match. So usually when I'm doing modern furniture, I go monochrome, so blacks, whites and greys, but I think the difference between the upstairs and underground would have been too drastic, so I stuck with the natural tones just to tie it all in together. So now I'm working on the kitchen and the dining room. These bench tops are my favorite bench tops in the whole entire world. I think I use them a little too often in all of my builds, but I just love them. I wish they existed in real life. So you'll notice that I don't actually use the move objects cheat at all in my builds. Just because if you download the house with a cheat on it, sometimes things don't work. I've had a couple of bad experiences with some of the houses I've downloaded from the Sims gallery. Sometimes if the creator has used the cheat, sometimes I want to use a table but I can't, and something's in the way and I don't know what, or I can't sit on a chair. It just gets really frustrating sometimes. So I'd like to keep things simple, no cheats, so that everything works okay. That way you can just move things around without having to worry about what might happen if you do. So you'll see that I use a lot of glass windows for walls. I found that the white walls by themselves were very claustrophobic, and everything was a bit narrow, especially the hallway. Plus we're underground, so I wanted it to make it feel roomy and more airy and bigger than it actually was. So in order to do that, I had to sort of open up all the rooms and make it all look like one big area as opposed to small little areas. That's right, guys, always save your progress. You have no idea how many times I've been in the middle of building a beautiful house and then all of a sudden my computer crashes and I get very, very angry. It makes me want to punch the screen and throw the PC out the window and never play Sims again. Don't do it to yourselves, guys. Always save your progress. So now I'm doing the bedrooms. There are 2 for this place. I'm trying to make this gap in the middle there because I actually wanted to make a study for the middle area. But it's too narrow and very cramped, so I think instead of doing that I just put the PCs, one in each room, and then I turn the middle area into wardrobes and a laundry area. The bedrooms are symmetrical, that's right, but I love this bed. I want one, but I don't think IKEA sell these, so I'll just have to wait. So even though I don't use the move objects cheat, I do use the shrink and enlarge cheat. Is that a cheat? It's just 2 buttons. Anyway, sometimes I do enlarge an object and it doesn't play very well with the other objects for some reason. So if you do happen to download this house and you're having issues with some of these mats or some of these objects, just feel free to delete and switch it up to however you want. So I really like the bathroom that I made in the dining room. So I just copied and pasted that bathroom for the bedrooms and also the living room. But you'll see that I actually changed the shower into a bathtub because I love bathtubs. We recently renovated our bathroom, well not recently, maybe 2 years ago, because the old bathtub was no longer white, it was brown. So we got rid of the bathtub so that we'd have more room in the bathroom, and now I'm really missing bathtubs. So now you can see that I've put in the 2 wardrobes for the two different rooms, and now I'm trying to fix up the laundry. I tried to use the bigger shelves that were in the laundry day pack, but I was afraid that no one would be able to use the washing machine or the sink with that sort of hanging over their heads. So I used the clutter that was closer to the wall. So you'll notice that I just replaced the white outer walls with the masonry. So the idea for that was that the stone walls are walling off the dirt. So basically keeping everything from caving in. So I like the way it actually ties in the upstairs with the downstairs. So if you remember the foundation of the cottage upstairs, it's actually the same as the stone pattern here. In the screenshots you'll actually see that the white ceiling that every sim house has goes really well with the mortar that's between the stones. And look, every room now has a feature wall, so that's interesting. Actually no, it does keep the room interesting, so I no longer have plain white walls. There's something to look at. It's not too boring anymore. So you'll see that I'm using plants in a lot of my rooms. So the idea for that was that I was trying to bring the outside in, especially since we are underground. I just wanted to bring some life into this underground house. So you can see that every room actually has a plant. I just realized that the bathrooms don't have plants. Sorry. If you feel like you need a plant in there, go ahead and stick one on the wall. So now I'm doing paintings and I'm trying to put some clutter around the area. I don't actually know where anything is, so you'll see me do a lot of scrolling. I don't even know what I'm looking for sometimes. Sometimes I remember that I saw something, but then I can't find it again. So I do a lot of browsing when I get to this section of the build. Upstairs, when I start planting plants, it's much the same. I'm just scrolling through trying to figure out where everything goes. So now I'm finished with the downstairs and I'm now working above ground. So I'm currently working here on the greenhouse. So before I saw this in a build, someone else had been making a farm with a house, and they had made this really nice greenhouse. So I decided to copy. Right now I'm trying to find the right sized windows that would go well. I think I eventually find some good old modern windows, change the rims to brown and put those along. The entry is a tricky one. I'm not sure if it actually works. Please, if it doesn't work, just remove it and replace it with an archway or a door if you want. So even though I can't find anything in the catalogs, I do love clutter. I love the way it makes everything just that little bit more believable, like it could be real life. I actually like looking through the stuff and figuring out how things could be used. Yes, it takes out hours of my life, but it's just fun. It's like window shopping, but this is Sims, so even better, you don't have to use real money. So now I'm making a pond using the fountain tool. I kind of miss the pond tool that the older Sims had. I think even Sims 3 had it. So that old tool, it used to make the ground go down. It's like a shovel and you dig it down into the ground, and so the ground becomes the pond bed, so it looks natural. It looks like it slopes down. I mean, they have them in the actual Sims game. You can see behind this lot there's actually a pond that looks like a pond, but for some reason we can't make them ourselves. So I really hate the sharp edges, so this is me trying to cover those sharp edges with plants and rocks. These have all been enlarged to cover the edge, and sometimes they don't play well with objects that you might place around the area. So if that happens, please feel free to delete and change it up to suit your needs. So here I am looking for a specific well. I can't find anything in this catalog. It's a little frustrating. While I'm looking for the well, I do find other things that I thought might look good around the house. Anyway, I do settle for a different kind of well. I even did a well search, so I typed up well, but it didn't come up. I eventually do find it later while I was looking for another thing. But that's just how it works, I guess, is how there it is, that's the well that I was looking for. I feel like there needs to be an easier way to find things. Maybe there could be other categories, like, I don't know, outside well. Or maybe I just need to get used to everything and familiarize myself with everything that's available to use, I guess. I mean, I only just recently got all the packs, so maybe that's the problem. So now I'm putting up some fencing. You'll notice that it's not a whole fence, it looks a bit broken. It's just that whenever I imagine a British farmhouse or cottage, I always have this image of my head of stone fences that are broken in some places. I don't know why or where that comes from. Maybe from a TV show that I once saw, I don't know. Anyway, I just went along with that. So now I'm actually painting the ground underneath structures and rocks and plants. I never used to do this, but then I saw other builders do it in their speed builds, and yeah, it's really good. It actually gives more depth to the ground. So just like how I like clutter and how clutter kind of makes everything look a little bit more real, so painting on the ground, I think it does the same thing. So it makes it look almost real when you add some texture to the ground. So you'll see there that I painted some rows on the ground. Those are supposed to be rows for where you're going to plant your plants. You don't have to plant there specifically, you can plant anywhere. Not a hard and fast rule. This is Sims after all, it's your world, you can do whatever you want in it. So yeah, feel free to change it up. So now I'm just doing some finishing touches. I'm putting plants around the area, especially around the fences and the rocks, just again to give it more texture. I tried to make the plants look natural and make it look like they grew organically. I also raised some of the ground, if you noticed, just again for more texture, to give it some more dimension and depth, I guess. Otherwise it just looks too flat. So you might have seen me paint those broken pavers that go along from the fence to the front gate. If you notice, the grass between the bricks didn't really match the grass that's already on this lot. So I decided to delete all that and go with this other look. It looks like it's dirt, and it's supposed to, I guess. I put a little bit of sort of pavers or stones at the top and the bottom near the stairs and the entrance, just to make it look like there was once pavers there, but they've just sort of all worn out. So that's my build, and these are my screenshots. That's from the outside. The living room, I really like that light fixture. I used it in all my rooms, again for simplicity. The kitchen and dining room. So if you actually look at the ceiling and the stone walls, it actually goes really well. Another one of the library. And last one from the outside. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to download the house, please feel free to do so. It'll be tagged under Blake Damon. I'll spell that out for you in the description below. If you did enjoy my video, please like and subscribe. I'll be posting more Sims stuff later in the future. So thanks again, and I will talk to you later.